Welcome to Small Business Big Dreams, where every episode is a new journey into the world of entrepreneurs who are daring to dream big. In this corner of the internet, we're going to celebrate the innovation and the perseverance it takes to turn small ventures into booming successes. These small businesses aren't just places to shop, they're actually hubs of creativity and passion, each with its own amazing story. From the mom and pop shops to the innovative startups, we're going to explore it all. You'll meet the faces behind the brands, hear their stories, and maybe even get inspired to start your own venture. Whether you're a longtime local or new in town, come along with me for the ride and let's celebrate the backbone of our communities one small business at a time. Now let's dream big and spread some love for our local heroes. All right, welcome back to another week of Small Business Big Dreams, and I am super excited, as always, to introduce you to Yami from Legged Brewing. And you're going to be a little surprised at what it's going to be about today, but I am addicted. So, Yami, welcome today.
Thank you, Eric, for having me.
Yeah. So give us the elevator pitch of Legged Brewing and why everyone might be a little surprised.
Yeah, so you're not the first one. I think we're a beer company. We're actually a craft cold brew company. We're based in Grace Lake, Illinois, where our shop is in Lindenhurst. And we are making zero-calorie, all-natural cold brews that taste like treats without any junk.
Cold brew. You had me at cold brew, sold, signed, delivered. I am one of those guys that drinks cold brew year-round. It could be 10 below. I'll be wearing shorts and drinking a cold brew, and people were like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "That's..." I've had your guys' stuff for a little while now, but so let's talk back. When did you guys start the business, and what got you into it?
Yeah, we started business about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
It was my hobby at the beginning. Many years ago, I started brewing. You want to hear a story?
Yeah, of course. That's what we're here. Tell me the story, please.
So we're both, my husband Jeremy and I, really into craft beer. And you can see there's a similarity between the craft beer crowd and craft coffee crowd, right?
Of course.
Yeah, and people serious about their craft. And we bought a kegerator because I really like Phase 3's one of their beer.
Ooh,
so
yes.
I bought a kegerator for it.
Just for the beer.
For the keg. And then by the time everything got hooked up and their keg sold out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we put something else on tap, but it's not that one. Pina Colada.
The Pina Colada one from Phase 3?
Yes. They haven't made it yet.
It's been a long time.
It's been 2 years at least.
At least.
You haven't seen it. Yeah.
And I wonder... Yeah, there's a lot of stories there, too. We could talk about Phase 3 all day. But, okay, curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
What did you put on tap then instead?
So we have, 2 beers there, but then I have a 3-tapper. So I got one empty. It's like, I'm making cold brew so many years. I'm just making for me, my husband, and put in the fridge, like in a gallon mason
bit,
jar. That method, everybody does that way. And it's like, what if we put on tap? What if we put some nitrogen in there? How that gonna work?
Oh boy, cold brew nitrogen on tap. Here we go.
Exactly. So that cans of worms and kind of opened at that point.
Did you ever craft your own beer at all, or did you go straight into just doing cold brew and coffee?
Never really brewed our
never
beer. No. Yeah.
So I gotta say, I made my own cold brew a couple of times, but I go through so much of it and trying to keep like a gallon jug. It was like every other day I would have to make more, or every third day, and it got so annoying. And then I actually got a new job in the city, in downtown, and in the kitchen.
Yeah.
First time I'd ever seen it, they had cold brew on tap. You want to talk about how easily over caffeinated I got? It was, oh my gosh. So the random odd cut, we actually, we're sitting right now in Legged Brewing's almost to open location. Hopefully it's open by the time you guys are hearing this. But the gentleman just walked in and was like, "Oh, you guys aren't open yet." So people are already hoping for it. It's a lot of hype on the internet. Definitely all over. That Lindenhurst Facebook page, man. Gosh. Everyone's like, when's it opening? When's it opening?
We got so much excitement going on. Every day I get so much messages on Facebook and asking, when are you open? I can't wait.
Soon. Maybe if there's one of you work for the fire department, get out here.
Plug right there.
Yeah, right. All right. So about a year and a half ago, you decided to kind of make this a business,
like a business,
right?
yeah.
So what was your first approach? Because obviously, or was it always storefront was the goal? Or
No, actually, we never really wanted to open a brick and mortar.
okay,
So as you know, we started making cans, right?
Right, yep.
So we started cold brew cans and then got into nitro cold brew cans, and then coffee bags. So was always trying to be a consumer product goods company, CPG company.
Yeah.
Building the brand and selling e-commerce and direct consumer. Never really thought about brick and mortar because retail is tough.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about that all day
All
too.
day long. Yeah, exactly. So we were doing a lot of wholesales and selling through others. That's our goal. We want to create a good product and healthy product and put out there in front of more people. Having one store is not gonna do that.
No. Yeah.
But going through distribution and selling online and getting more people's hands, that's what we thought at the beginning.
And now are you guys going to still approach that route, or are you guys just going? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely doing a multi-channel strategy. So we're continue building our distribution network, retailer networks. And on the other hand, I think having a retail is really beneficial because not only the community want it, the other is it's really helping kind of bridge the cash flow in the down season.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, that makes sense. I also would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from like a retail storefront, that would help. You can almost write it up as like a marketing, right? Because then people it gets in front of people that maybe have never heard of you, and maybe that one right person walks in and is like, oh my god, I need this on our shelves, or I want this here. A buyer for Costco is like, we got to carry this, and that changed the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it just add credibility. I think sometimes once we started saying we're going to have a store, and it's more easier to get wholesale customer buying in as well.
Yeah, because not similar because they don't do cold brew, but similar business model in the sense of the channels they went after. They also somebody did something similar where they went to the storefront, and the credibility piece was huge, which was funny because a lot of people thought they were a hobbyist or like a side hustle.
Yeah.
And then once they opened the brick and mortar, like everybody took them seriously. That even though they had nothing to do with retail, like, oh, you actually have a storefront, and it changed the tone of the conversation for their wholesale business. It was like a light bulb went off, and it was like, really, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But
it's like, interesting because we've been selling at farmers market. That's how we started the whole thing, really testing our product. That's another story of it. Just, the product testing, prototyping, feedback loop is another thing for startups. But going farmers market last year, we've been to 150 markets.
In a year?
Literally.
A year and a half?
Just a year, yep.
Just in a year, you did 150.
So we have 4 or 5 markets a week. Yeah, it's a lot of hustling, but that's the only way we went to the market at the beginning. You don't have a shop, right? So, but at the second half of the year, really at the markets, people started coming back more and more for our coffee, and then starting asking, when are you opening a store? When are you opening a store? So that's kind of leading to, at the end of last year, we were starting looking for a property to do this. It's partially coming from consumers' demand.
I mean, hey, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are going to have this question. You've probably gotten this question 100 times already, if not more. Where's the name come from?
Three-legged was a homage to my dog who just passed away.
I'm sorry.
2 months ago. Yeah, Mao Guai, that's her name.
Mao
We took
Guai?
her everywhere to the farmer's market. She was our mascot. And she's like the perfect dog for market because she doesn't really bark at dogs, doesn't bark at people. Lovely, so friendly.
So chill.
Yeah, so chill.
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
Thank you. But she had a good life. She was 15 when she passed.
Good long life.
Good long life, and the last year especially, like at the farmers market, got patted by thousands of people. That was probably the best year for her.
All that love, all that attention, especially at the end. Oh man, that's such a heartbreak. I'm curious. So there's a lot of different ways because I'm so curious on this business model. I'm so interested because. Like you're cold brew focused, that's your core product. All right, before we go down this, what else is the retail front at the brick and mortar store going to offer beyond your cold brew lineup?
Yeah, we do a lot of tea as well. A lot of people don't know because we don't really advertise on website. We're mostly website e-commerce, just coffee.
Okay.
But we do tons of cold brew tea. We also all use like organic loose teas, herbs, and real fruits to brew. So it's super healthy. We don't put sugar if the recipe allows.
Okay.
And so it's kind of tied into our health conscious and good for you beverage theme here. So we'll have 20 taps on the wall, as you can see there.
Yeah, we're sitting here. It does look like you walked into a taproom brewery, but it is going to be all cold brews and cold teas, right?
Yes, we'll have 12 taps of coffee, 8 taps of teas, and we'll also have, matchas and hot chocolates, ice cream, affogato.
Oh, Jacqueline, my wife, is like obsessed with those. Anytime I'm going to come here, she's like, yeah, I'm coming for one of those. Yeah. So good. So, and it looks like you're going to have like some treats or like there looks like a little bit of food section over there.
Yeah, so we have a grab and go cooler.
Okay.
So we will use a lot of local vendors that make treats, and they'll bring in and we'll put there, and you just grab whatever you want. You want to heat it up, we have a turbo chef and can toast it for you.
Yeah, like microwave on steroids type thing.
Yes, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like frozen pizza, we tried a minute and like perfectly cooked.
Oh my god!
Perfectly, like the crisp on the bottom and it's fluffy inside. It's so good.
You guys, I gotta give a shout out. So I got a tour before we sat down and started this, and I got to see. We're sitting in the front area now, but she showed me the brewing area, the giant refrigerator. Well, one, obviously it's brand new, so super clean, huge room, and I mean, I'm giddy right now talking about it just because cold brew is my life, and have all these different variations, freshly made, freshly brewed right here on location, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I don't want to misspeak. Yeah. And it's like a giant, massive walk-in refrigerator just with all the brewing equipment. It looks so cool. I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah, we'll be able to brew like 230-gallon batch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm so excited because I'm brewing 30-gallon right now. So can you imagine how much labor it's going to save by then?
How many different can you be brewing at a different time? Is it like 4 different variants or 5? What is it? How many?
So the main brewing tank, we have 1 mesh tank. So that's where we use brewer. But then we have 3 more storage. You can just pump to the others.
Oh my God, you're going to be cranking out cold brew all day
long. Yes. That's a goal, right? So we're building this place, trying to be a centralized brewing facility. Yeah. So the supplies, we're going to the markets, events, festivals, and also supports the wholesale canned products.
So your plan is, once this is open, you're going to still have a presence at the farmers markets and all that?
Absolutely. We love going to the farmers market, just being part of the community.
I think I wanted to double back on a note you said was all your the product kind of testing and the A/B testing was. Yeah. I think that is one thing I was shocked I haven't heard more people talk about, because and I know a lot of the interviews I've done are more service based versus maybe product based or product from scratch type based. Yeah. But I think I was like, the more I thought about it, 150 farmers markets. I mean, that is a great crowd. You get a eclectic crowd. Yeah. And then you do get repeats, so you come back and then you can see if the customer comes back, but then you can tweak things, and that is, I mean, hats off to you, genius move there on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Like, I see as an intensive, like, focus group. Really is. Yeah. Like when you start a brand from scratch, you're trying to making something from your kitchen table to commercial level, and how are you going to figure out does the customer actually want your product? Right. We started this 0-calorie all natural thing. Nobody else is doing it. If you look at the grocery aisle, canned cold brew, either it's burnt coffee, just tastes nasty, or it's loaded milk and sugar, right? And or fake sugar. It just tastes so bad. And at that point, it's oat milk with some coffee flavor. Yeah, right. So what's the point of drinking a coffee? I'm probably a little more a purist in that realm. We wanted to create a coffee drink that is actually tastes like a good specialty coffee.
Well, and if you make it right and you make it well and with the right beans, it shouldn't need all that stuff. But
that's right.
To each their own. So we were kind of been bouncing around. I want to just clarify for our listeners. You're not going to be making like mocha, latte, frappuccino like things here, right? You're just we got cold brew, we've got tea, we've got matcha.
Yeah.
Any missing anything bigger? Like a pour over, right?
We have pour over. So if you want a real good hot coffee, that's pour over. Okay. But we will do hot cold brew, which we engineer a device that can heat up cold brew as a pouring.
Wow.
Yeah, heating up to drinking temperature, not scorching hot. Yeah. It's amazing.
So the bottom line, there's no espresso. We're not doing any espresso.
No espresso machine.
Okay. Yeah. Those machines, one, I hear are insanely expensive and they break all the time. Shout out to a couple previous coffee shop owners I know that are listening here that all the time those things would break.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go, there's like 3 guys in a 200-mile radius, or it's the manufacturer only that can fix them. Like,
exactly.
Nah, we're here about the cold brew. That's the good stuff anyway.
And I think it's good to have your niche, right? Sometimes you want to be everybody, but there's no point. We're a cold brew company. We're selling cold brews, and that's what we're specialized at.
Yeah, you'll get people though. I want an espresso. We don't have it. I want a beer. We don't have it.
Sometimes you gotta say no, right?
Yeah, and that's okay.
You will find your crowd. People will come. People love you. They will come.
They will. They will. I'm gonna come in full force. Unfortunately, just start a tab. You put my card on file. We're canning. We've got it on tap, and if I'm seeing this correctly, you guys are going to be doing growlers. I could take some to go, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're already doing at the farmers market for the 32 ounces. In the shop, we have 64 ounces, so half gallon to go.
Oh, I'll be here every other day picking up another one. Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm a cold brew coffee fiend. If you guys haven't picked up on that. So I want to talk about you a little bit.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for a year and a half, but what's your background? Did you have you started businesses before? Did you quit teaching? What was kind of your history that led up to this?
Yeah, I'm actually a first-time founder.
Okay.
So this is my first rodeo as an entrepreneur. And my background is really in corporate strategy, business development, merger acquisitions. So the boring stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't call it boring, but I say that's some pretty heavy information to have. That's some good insight. I bet you leveraged some experience from that into this.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was great. Like, I love being in the business world, and I had so many opportunity come from it. I travel all over the world, and I work a lot of different cities because moved around quite a bit with the corporate, I got a lot of very exciting assignments along the way. So I'm really grateful for having that corporate experiences because you have a lot of resources, you have a lot of tools
the connections
and trainings
you've made. Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Now, were you still doing that up until when you started this, or were you kind of already taking a step back before you decided to jump into this?
It was kind of a good timing. So I was last January I was let go. So which at that point I already registered company. I know at some point I'm gonna do this three-legged full time, but it was just depending on knowing it's gonna come at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the fact that you were able to see that forthcoming, but it was kind of ending up. All right, hot take number 2 of a future customer walking in thinking that she's ready to rock. Not quite, but as you can see, the town's definitely excited. But to keep going, we were talking about, you stepped away from corporate, and then the timing of it kind of was almost serendipitous, right? You kind of saw the writing on the wall, but and then January. So that's pretty fresh.
It was pretty fresh, but I think it's super exciting journey because working at corporate is great. It's very exciting and big jobs and good paycheck, but
constant paycheck,
very good paycheck, which I hope I get paid at some point.
Yeah, that's the hard part right now because putting all this money out and hoping. There's a little hope, a little work, a little luck of, hoping all that money comes back, right?
Yeah, it's very risky, but I see myself risk taker. So it's a lot of pressure, but I know if you're doing a good job, people are going to love it. They're going to come, they're going to support you. So I am pretty confident about it. It's
The product's going to sell itself, I'm telling you.
Oh.
Let's talk about getting into the coffee industry.
yeah.
What was some challenges or hurdles that there was probably a lot you weren't expecting, but was like, what's something that like caught you off guard, or like a challenge you kind of had to overcome early on that you were caught you blindsided, if that makes sense?
Well, coffee industry is very competitive. You know, you can find coffee everywhere. You can buy on Amazon, anywhere, internet. Coffee is specialty coffee shops and roasters, just home roasters everywhere. Everybody can have their brand tomorrow, right? And then as far as the canned beverages goes, it's actually one of the toughest CPG industry.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up, but since you did, I mean, canning, I mean, the cost of canning, the competitive of canning, and especially in a wholesale, and then shelf space to fight for it, especially if you go down the, like to get into Jewels and Whole Foods and stuff like that. Yeah, it's...
the cost is pretty hard. It's challenging. So actually, beginning, I didn't know much. I had to jump in both feet. So it started, I just wanted to have the canned cold brew. We're different. We think we can, building a brand really differentiate by being better for your product, because there isn't out there.
Yeah.
But then I learned pretty soon that it's really, really tough to be in retail. Like you said, the grocery store, there's distributor, there's a broker, and everybody take a big cut.
Yes, they
do. And then you take on all the risk, and the retailer want free fills. They want all the, the promotion, trade spend. So at the end of the day, you're doing the spreadsheet. At the end, maybe you're lucky to get 5-10%. Like, what's the point, right? And then there's a risk. What if your product spill? They didn't store it properly,
right.
And we're cold chained, which adds another challenging of logistics, because I've approached a lot of distributors. They don't even want to talk to me because it's cold chained. Yeah, they can't safely transport those.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So because it's actually all natural. So is it a preservative issue of like having to keep it cold? Like,
there's no preservative in it.
Exactly.
It's just coffee and water and nitrogen for the natural version. So nitrogen acts as a natural preservative, but we made it a non-shelf stable refrigerated product. It's a conscious, intentional choice at the beginning, because we've tried pasteurized, we've tried retorting process, we've talked to a lot of cold mans about it. We've experimented ourselves. It just tastes nasty.
Yes, it does.
Like basically you cook a coffee, right? In cold brewed, never seen heat, and then you cook it. You essentially
defeats the purpose.
Exactly, and you destroy all the intricacy of the coffee beans. And it just tastes very sour. If you find the nitro cold brew can from the grocery store, it's sour, it's burnt, it tastes bad. Like my goal for this product is quality. That's number one. It's taste is number one.
Of course, if it doesn't taste good, who's going to drink it?
Yeah, but not if you go the brand. A lot of brands don't think that way.
Well, especially, we'll talk about the big green monster a little bit here. So we were talking pre-podcast before we started recording. I go to Starbucks. But I drink their black cold brew, and for me, it was about consistency, right? And I will actually, now that you mention it too, I can't drink the canned stuff because it tastes so bad.
So bad.
It's not even the same. And then they started trying to do the glass bottles, but that was a whole nother beast in itself. Oh my God, I forget the point.
The consistency.
So consistency is important, but the quality, the care in the product anymore. Because like we were talking about, like, I go to another small coffee shop and I love the choice of beans and the art behind it and all that. But then they lose the consistency, and it's like you get to catch-22. It's like, I want to know what I'm getting every single time. And it's like, okay, well, thanks, corporate America. Like, I know what I'm getting, and like they're leaning into that versus the quality of the product. And then at the end of the day, it's a bottom line, right? Like, but here, man, cold brew is just so good. But okay, I told you we was gonna do this. We were gonna we're gonna derail, and we're just gonna end up down rabbit holes. But so obviously we talk about a lot differentiation. I think we've nailed that home. First off, you're based around cold brew, which is not very common. which is an awesome niche to get into. The quality, the zero sugars, all the all natural type piece of it. Where do you see, what's the next step after the retail front? Like, where do you see evolving? Is it the product line? Is it more just using the retail to go bigger wholesale environment? What's your goals after this?
Yeah, it's all of it.
Okay.
All of it. So I still think we're very early stage as a startup / small business. So we're trying to learn everything. So we're still going to the farmers market events because that's really good cash flow in the summer months. But the flip side, in the winter, all the markets are closed.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially one of the struggle I ran into last year. In the winter, really depressing is because your revenue basically down to 20% of what you had in the summer.
That much.
Which is really, really difficult, which forced me to pivot and start the retail front because it's going to have all year round customer base, right? Winter, people still want a coffee. They will walk over, have a coffee, but all the markets, festival are closed, basically. And we're in Midwest. People don't want to go out when it's snowing outside.
No, we don't, man. It's like, I still drink a cold brew, but when it's, 2 feet of snow and -10, like, I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care.
Exactly. I didn't want to go to market either, but I still went to market in the winter because, that's your business you got to do.
Yeah.
So that's kudos to all the small business owners out there because I see you guys. I think being an entrepreneur really gave me another appreciation of people actually doing work like this.
Yes,
Unlike working in a corporate America, you don't see those hardworking people in the coffee shops. You don't see people, helping you cleaning stuff. And now you actually really, really appreciate people.
We're heads down in a laptop, and in a coffee shop.
Wait, back to I think I derailed. So back to the scaling up.
Scaling.
Yeah, so definitely we're still doing the farmers markets. We're getting more events and catering opportunity. Once people learn us, we're still getting more opportunity that way, which is food services.
Catering?
Catering.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? What would that look like?
Last month we were invited to the school, BJ Hooper, here. And we did a catering for the teacher appreciation.
So you guys come and just set up like a coffee booth kind of thing?
I just brought our coffee cart, little wagon over.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Can
and
you
the
just park
teacher
in front
loved
of my house?
Yes.
Or you should do is like a ice cream truck version and just drive around, and people will just come to you. But catering, that's interesting. I think, again, I'm just spitballing here, but there's actually going to probably even be in the next year or two, even a bigger demand for stuff like that. Because something you and I were talking about earlier, again, a bigger and growing demand for non-alcoholic drinks.
Absolutely.
Because we didn't get a chance to talk, but we were both at the Lake County Food Truck Fest, and I was working the beer tent or beer booth or whatever, and we had a lot of people asking for do you have anything non-alcoholic? And we had water and then one other thing, and a lot of the food vendors didn't have a lot of other, they weren't. That's not why they were there. They wanted to sell their tacos and all that. And I think there's just a huge shift in how much people are consuming alcohol and looking for something that's not a soda or a lemonade or,
a little healthier.
A little healthier. Maybe a little caffeine pick-me-up,
Exactly.
There's never nothing wrong with that.
Especially for the younger crowd.
Yeah.
And they're really shifting.
Well, and I've been, so I have a lot of friends and family within the restaurant industry. And something we've talked about for years is you go to a nice restaurant, I'm going to go to this beautiful steakhouse and order a $100 steak. And it's either I order a water or I have to order a cocktail or wine. There is no good substitute, and it's things like this, I think, are going to be huge in the coming years of just a massive social shift away from alcohol. And especially if somebody or a business embraces it doesn't have to be the late night hours, but later, right? You don't have to be a 2 a.m. coffee bar. That's ridiculous, but we only have so many hours in a day. But I can see where it's an event based, one, people are looking for things to do. Yeah. And two, they don't want to always drink alcohol, and I love this. I think this is going to be huge. In the catering, I love that idea.
Yeah.
But again,
and we do coffee, tea, and we do mocktails as well with our coffee and teas.
A mocktail with a coffee and
Uh-huh.
tea. Oh,
Yeah.
now see, you sandbagged that on me. See, okay. See, we're same wavelength already. We're already there. You're gonna blow up. You are gonna absolutely blow up with this. How? Okay, so we're still talking about
We're still
we're talking about
scaling. We're
so
talking
we're
about
catering.
market catering.
Yeah.
And my vision for the retail places is because we're doing cold brew, we are setting up pretty much day one all the SOPs. If people don't know, it's a standard operating procedures.
Thank you.
Like corporate
Corporate lingo, yep, yeah.
lingos. So really the gist is we try to standardize and document all the processes so it's easy to replicate by other people. What I learned is as a CEO, your goal is to be able to, step out of your what you're doing. I'm still brewing today. I'm still doing all the little things. My husband does all the installation, the manufacturing side of things. But we need to step away from this business. That's why we have the standard operating procedures. Our goal is to be able to kind of replicate and maybe franchise, maybe store owned. We don't know yet, but I think that could be a possibility. Also because we centralize manufacturing here, right?
Yeah.
So we can send out kegs for different cafes and really just about training, getting a consistent customer service flow, getting employee trained, really having a great company culture to make the experience ideal.
Well, culture is everything.
Exactly.
You and I both worked corporate. Corporate. Like we get what culture's all about. And what I want to talk about. Okay, is there anywhere outside? Like, are you guys in any retail at all? Like a store or restaurants at all anywhere?
Yeah, we're in about 35 locations.
35
yes.
locations. No big deal. No big deal. Okay.
We're all direct distribution at the moment, so no distributor, but we're onboarding one coming very soon. So,
and will that help get into places easier? Is that, or just one less thing you just have to worry about?
Yeah, we'll still do a lot of kind of a hybrid at the moment because as your emerging brand, you're small, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a chicken egg problem. And distributor want you to be bigger. They can, they can get into, you can easily get more into bigger retailers, and retailer want you have distributors, so easier for them to do the job. So at some point, we're still kind of prioritizing a lot of independent retailer at the moment, a little bit niche specialty store, because like our distributor just say, you guys coffee is fancy coffee, your fancy food, which it's not, they're not wrong. $5 a can of coffee, Chicago grocery store sells $6 a can, they sell all day long. Yeah. You just have to pick your audience, pick your store. Some gas station, they don't sell anything. So,
and you pay $7, $8, $9 for a cup of sugar from Starbucks, or you go into even a gas station, they've got like energy drinks that are well above and beyond that. There's, I think fancy is the wrong word. I mean, I think there's definitely like I don't because I don't want to niche it out. Like I think $5 for a can of anything today is for the most part pretty normal. It's pretty okay.
Normal. We wish everybody think that way,
right?
But distributor not thinking that way because obviously their cost is a lot higher. Yeah. But we can tell them all day long our cost is higher too.
Everybody's cost is higher.
Exactly.
And you also you're not at the point of scale too where you start getting too many hands in the cookie jar, and then then it ends up being $10 at the storefront, and it's just like
you gotta make sure you're cap at your retail price.
So we were talking about scaling. I want to talk about SOPs. I think that is something a lot of entrepreneurs could take a huge lesson on hearing, and I hope you guys are all listening right now, because I think this will help you not have to be an exit strategy, not necessarily be you're trying to franchise or anything, but it allows you to like go on vacation and not freak out. Go take a day off, and know that there are things in place to let your employees run the business. And if something comes up, there is a wherever you store this information, whether it's in a binder and that's the way you're going to do it, or digitally, but like that this is how we do it and how we're going to do it, and I'm going to step away and I'm going to not worry about it.
Absolutely. I think it's a big differentiation between startup versus small business, right? Startup, traditionally, it's software-based companies and tech companies, and they can exponentially grow once they develop whatever their core value is. Versus small business, you're a restaurant, you're kind of replicate another one, is you almost have to put twice the effort to have your second store open.
Yeah, exactly.
But really the SOP, the idea is have everything documented, so easily replicated. You can save a lot of labor, a lot of time. Also use software, use other people, leverage all the tools you have, so you don't have to put 200%. You put, maybe another 50% to grow. But
oh my gosh,
it just think about ways how to make your life easier down the road. I think that's a big differentiation. A lot of people, when they start small business, they don't think too far ahead.
Well, and I think too, a lot of people struggle is not understanding whether the service or the product is the business, or are they the business?
Yeah.
Because if they're the business, then it's not scalable, right? Because you can only do so much.
Yeah.
But if you create a business that's around the product or service, and that's what's actually selling, that's a scalable business.
Absolutely. So we're really a brand. I think Three-Legged is a brand. It's a lifestyle brand. So we're building everything around the experience, around the branding, our story, and really good product. So everything is consistent putting out. I see a lot of our friends from farmers markets, they're doing 10 years. And they're doing well, but they're still them. They're out there. They're making
it all by
food,
hand or whatever.
Growing. They're all doing everything themselves. They have to be there. They cannot let go.
That's also an entrepreneur's mental problem too, is letting go, trusting somebody else to do it. I get that. Yeah.
But employee got to make mistake. We had that happen, right?
Everyone does.
It's fine. And we just learn and move on. Maybe your system has holes and you patch the holes.
And as entrepreneurs, we make mistakes, and hopefully we learn from them. Sometimes some people don't.
Yeah.
And I think too, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that believe that an employee is going to work as hard or as dedicated as we are, and they're not. And that's 100% okay. But if you can realize that, you will be in a mental better state around it. Just set them up for success. And
Absolutely.
It's okay. Let them do what you need them to do and take that off your plate.
Absolutely. And you make their process, make whatever the process, their efficiency, make them their life easier, right? Yeah. And then I think the biggest thing we talk about is their culture. Yes. How do you set up the company that everybody is comfortable working in there, everybody comfortable speaking up and telling you something not working because you don't see everything going on?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. They tell you, and then you work together, make the process better. That's a consistent feedback loop and consistent continuous improvement in a 6 black belt language, which I'm a black belt.
You are a Sigma? Yeah,
I am,
okay.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what a Sigma black belt, that is not a karate thing. It's like a project management-ish kind of thing for people who aren't in the corporate world. But look it up. It has nothing to do with karate, I promise.
It came from Toyota, really, at the beginning.
They were the ones that it was them?
Way. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it came from a corporation. I couldn't remember which one.
More manufacturing operation related.
Yeah. What has been the biggest lesson you've personally learned about you going through this process?
Oh, gosh. I think it's so tough because transitioning from corporate to entrepreneur is a completely different experience. Mm-hmm. And you're really living a roller coaster life every single day. You're happy this morning and crying your eyes out in the evening. It can happen in 24 hours, right? And every little bit victory, every little bit setback, it hurts you personally, because it's personal. It's your livelihood, so it's different. The things I've learned is how to adjust your mental state. I'm still trying to better myself at that. because it's a real struggle sometimes. Like, how do you get out of the funk? How do you get unstuck? Your mind, your mind is trapped in there, and some days you just feel like you want to give up, right? Do you have you felt that way when you're doing your own thing?
Oh my God. I don't know how you can't. Like, I think everybody has to have that phase at some point. Because one, honestly, I think it does. Some people do call it quits, and that's okay. It just, that's a choice made, and people sometimes make that. But I also think when you get past that, it develops this better appreciation for where you're at today.
Yeah.
And know, like, I'm never going to get back to that place. And don't worry, you're going to cry again, and there's going to be hard times, and it will happen. But if you can get past those hurdles, they're just like a level of, like, I've achieved that. Like, I'm going to say this, like, in corporate America, you get the promotion, great. You know, you're like, you close the deal, great. You know, but like, it's not the same when it's not your business. And when it's your own business, it's your own blood, sweat, and tears. It's your own money on the line. There's just a level of, like, I've made it. Like, when you open that door, like, for the very first time, and that first real customer walks in, like, it's been a rough 7 months, you know, and it's like, it'll just be like, it all went away. Like, it never even happened. And all those nights that, like, were sucking, now don't, you know, and it's like, well, they did, but now it's like, it's all, like, great again. You know, you get that, like, reinvigorated, like, just like why you're doing it. You know?
It's the self-fulfillment portion of it. I think that's what drive me to leave the corporate is that it's the, do I actually feel something? Do I get up for something, you know, every day? But what were we talking about?
I don't know,
the
man.
struggle,
the struggles,
right? The struggle.
Yeah.
That part was real.
Has there been, like, a friend, a family member, a business mentor, someone who's kind of, like, given you the right advice throughout this that you would, like a shout out of, like, thank you for, like, keep moving me forward?
Yeah, I need to shout out to Sergeant Q, which one of the coaches we had at, we went to on a TV show called The Blocks. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's an entrepreneurial TV show. It's going to show on maybe Prime and maybe on Facebook, and later, you know, couple months, just later summer.
You guys,
it's gonna be on TV.
Yeah. Oh, yes, no big deal.
No big deal. We're gonna be on TV. But he gave me advice because we were telling him how struggling we were, because I was in the deep end of this mess. We're thinking, you know, can we actually gonna make it? It's so hard. But he's like, you know, trust yourself. It's usually when the time you feel like you have nowhere to go, that's where your hope is very near. It's going to come very soon, where you think after so many times you haven't made it, but it's right there. So that keeps us going.
I love that.
Yeah.
So don't give up. If you're listening right now, if you're in that part right now of being an entrepreneur, don't give up. Don't do it.
Around the corner.
What's the cliche? It's always darkest before the light, you know, and that 2020 hindsight, that is so true. I wouldn't have believed it in the moment, and you couldn't convince me to believe it in the moment, but 2020 hindsight, it is so true.
Sometimes we need a little patience. And need a little bit of luck as well, right?
Well, and so I like that you brought up the word luck. Thank you. I wanted to talk about that. And just in general, from a business perspective, that, like, people from the outside blame luck a lot. And I think there is, you know, right time, right place to a degree, right? Yeah. But we create that opportunity, and that's not by luck. That is by the effort. That is by the grinding. That is, like, you going to 150 different farmers markets in 1 year and happen to run into the right person that got you to X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, that wasn't really luck. You went 150 times and and created that opportunity, that what we would consider almost like a serendipitous moment.
I know.
And it's like, but if I only went to, like, 5 farmers markets last year, there's a very high chance I would have never met that person, right? Yeah. So it's like a balance of, like, or the word overnight success. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but, like, yeah, the 7 years it took me to lead up to this overnight success, but yeah, of course,
Yeah, people don't see the efforts you put in behind the scene, right? Yeah.
As long as they're buying, though, right? Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, so on that note, like sometimes people see, great, you got in this retailer, but yeah, you didn't see I work on this retailer for a year. It's a continuous nurturing process. And really, I think for a small business owner, a thing I always think about, how do I create value for your customer?
Yeah.
I don't think about make a sale. Like they come to me because they wanted to put cold brewery in their store, in their restaurant, on tap, whatever. That's because they have a goal they want to achieve.
Yeah.
But I'm not there to sell them my product just because I want to sell them my product. I want to really understand what value can I create, make their whole experience for their customer better. And once you really get them there, cross the bridge, sales is going to come.
It will.
Yeah, but it takes time to build up.
Well, and I think one of the hardest things that we don't talk about, we haven't talked a lot on this podcast, is educating the customer.
Yeah.
Or whether that customer is direct to consumer or retail, it doesn't matter. Either one, of understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it. And obviously, the more cost effective and faster you can do it, the better. But, that's where things we talk about, if you're new to this space, like customer acquisition costs and, all those things where, how many times do you have to inform a customer? How much time do you have to spend with them to have them understand your product or service? And I think the more where you'll appreciate this word, how sticky is your product, right?
Yeah.
Like how sticky is your service? And what I mean by that is like, great, you went and got that retail client, right? And they bought a keg, but did they keep reordering? That's far more important than just getting them like, all right, if you shut up, I'll buy a keg. It's like versus the relationship building of that, of why to carry the product and the value. And if they understand that, that becomes a repeat customer. And
Absolutely.
it goes from 1 keg a week to 2 or 3 or whatever, how that looks like,
It's a lifetime value, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a tricky part. Like for a consumer product goods, a can sitting on the shelf, customer have to see 7 times before they actually buy it. If you're brand new,
many?
7 times. So like maybe people browsing on internet, they see Legged Brewing on Instagram, that's once. And then they see some other places, people drinking, and they see another time. But continuously, you have to let them see 7 times before they pull the trigger. So really, I've been becoming so patient with it. I don't really sell my product. Okay. It's like I tell them more about cold brew. I tell them why we're different, why you should choose this versus others, and let them make that decision at the end of the day, because it's going to take time for them to realize why they should pick this versus others.
Because it's cold brew, like that. Enough said. Like
you're our perfect customers, but on average, if random consumer walk in a grocery store, there's so many choices.
It's unreal. The coffee aisle alone. And then you guys got to be in the refrigerated space.
There's tons of them. Yeah. And our thing, tasting really works well. So Farmers Market, easy sell for us events, because we just give them a sample. They're sold immediately. Yeah. But at the shop, people can't taste it. Test. So what do you really win the customers, right? So that
you'll never win them in a retail front like that. You have to win them somewhere else, whether that's in a farmer's market or on social media, and they hear your story, right? And that's
the other part of the business. You have to be kind of catching up and giving them more information and continuous nurturing. But at the retailer, there are different ways you can, give out free products.
It's always it's like drugs. You got to give the first one for free and get them hooked.
That's the cost of customer acquisition. So it's actually really tough for a small business to do this. Of course. And last summer we were at Mountain Farmers Market, and then one day the Zoa, that energy drink that Rock represented. Yeah, basically, they just roll in a big truck and hand out everybody free cans. So how you beat that? We were selling drink there, and then basically everybody walked by, they got a free energy drink. Yeah. So there's no way you can compete with people with resources.
Well, I want to challenge that, because I think it's tough in the moment, right? 100%. And they're going to grow at a scale, one, because Rock's name on it and all that, but I think, two, there is still, one, enough market out there for a business like this to take,
Yeah.
but I think there is a huge demand as well for a company with a story. Like, you know, what's that brand? What are they about? Why are they doing it? And I see that more and more as the more small businesses I've been interviewing, their growth is coming from that their brand has a story. You know, it's just not a...
You're stickier, so you have more loyal following.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think this whole new generation coming up thrives there.
Yeah.
Like, not that my generation or even an older generation doesn't, but I think even the younger generation, they're so burnt out by corporate America. Not just in the job aspect, but just in the branding aspect of just like, you know, just shoved in your face crap product, you know, and, you know, cheesy commercials and big celebrities. It's like, whoop-de-doo. Like, you know, it's like people want quality product with a story. And I think you're thrived and ready for that. So.
Oh, thank you. And I love seeing younger demographics and coming back and, you know, visit smaller businesses. They appreciate the differentiation, more better for your products. So I think that's opportunity for us.
Oh, 100%. I want, if you're comfortable with it, can you plug like 2 or 3 places where people can find your product right now?
Oh, absolutely. So if you live in Grace Lake area, we have Bake Share. That's our best friend, Michael. Shout out to Michael. He makes the best pies out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's been my number one, literally my first customer.
Really?
Yeah.
Never forget the guy, you know, first one gave you a break. Yeah.
He's one in Nader. Beer Bazaar in Grace Lake. He's also one of the very first customers start carrying my coffee in his shop. And he's going to put on tap hopefully this weekend.
Oh, my God.
We already got his special exclusive coffee on tap.
And then by the time you guys are listening to this podcast, Beer Bazaar's podcast is already been dropped. So if you haven't listened to that, now go back and listen to his too, because they're doing some cool things over there. You know, some cross promotion there for you.
And if you're in Mandalay, our coffee is on tap at Area Coffee.
Oh my! I haven't been out there yet. That place looks cool.
Oh, you gotta go! It's beautiful setting. They have a really nice outdoor seating area. Yeah. So go there and get a 3-legged nitro cold brew on tap at Area Coffee.
I'll do it. I'm gonna probably go tomorrow now. That's still waiting for you to open up here soon, very soon.
Yeah.
Let's. Where do I want to go? Let's talk about the hours. So entrepreneur life just is many hours, countless hours. No one wants to count. No one's going to count them.
We leave our 9 to 5, so we work 24/7.
Right?
Is that right?
Yeah. How do you balance that with like work and life and make sure like you don't lose that burnout, you know, of like what's outside of work?
Honestly, I'm struggling with it. As you see, we're still kind of building phase for the shop here, and we have so many other things to run and just start getting employees. So start building ways to remove us from some of the chores. But honestly, I don't really balance my life today. So it's tough.
No, that's fair. That's the transparency. I love it.
Looking forward to having a vacation. That's my goal. I set a goal. This Christmas, I'm going to have a week off. I'm going to go travel somewhere. I was a traveler. I love traveling. I love hiking. I love outdoor camping. But now I haven't done that for 2 years.
Oh, my God. You're killing me.
I know. Like we used to do a lot of biking. My husband and I were both very active. We do like triathlon. We do a lot of running race.
Hardcore. Okay.
Hardcore. Last year I did, before I actually started getting busy, I did 3 marathons. So that's how many races we do a year. Yeah.
3 marathons. Man, I think just hearing the word marathon makes my knees hurt. So.
But I haven't run since then. But I can't eagerly waiting to get back to that, have more normal social life and get back to, you know, socialize with my friends. So that's part is missing.
Well, at least when the doors open, they can come and hang out here with you and buy some coffee, right?
Yeah, they can come here.
Do you have that goal? I love the goal. Week off in December. Is it a staycation and do nothing, or where are you going to go? Do you have a plan, like somewhere you would like to go to?
We'd love to get out of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out.
Get out there.
Maybe I'm never
really
coming back. Like, I'm out. See ya. Good luck. SOPs are in the back.
Oh, gosh. Hopefully this place not burned down when I get back. I'm just joking.
All right, we have a lot of potential entrepreneurs listening. We have a lot of current entrepreneurs listening, and we just had a lot of potential customers listening. But if someone was in the midst of starting a business or thinking about it, what piece of advice would you give them?
When you just start business, always lead by your passion.
Yes.
Never start business because you want to make money. If that was my goal, I wouldn't have started the business because it's tough, right?
100%.
You definitely gotta realize it's not gonna be easy. You're not gonna slowly figure things out. It's not going to be figured out immediately, right? It's going to be a slow burn for a very long time.
It is.
But the flip side, the rewarding part is you can beat that journey. That journey, only being an entrepreneur in the center of the chaos, you understand, and you actually gain appreciation for life.
I think I couldn't say that better myself. Obviously, I'm losing my words today, but I think that is not the first time. I know for a fact that's not the first time someone has said that on this podcast. So I want to double down on that. Bold, underline, italicize. Don't start a business just for the sake of money. That will come if you really believe in whatever service you're providing, whatever product you're selling. The passion is there. Everything else will come, despite whatever the internet tells you,
I love that. Obviously, you have to be smart about it.
Oh, of
it's
course.
a business.
It's still a business at the end of the day. But if it does, if it doesn't make business sense, but at the same time, just because you heard it's, the next trend on TikTok to go start a business in XYZ, that's the next fortune. Well, one, no one ever does. They'll sell you a class on how to do it and not actually do it. But anyway,
exactly.
I'm segueing, but. Yeah, be passionate about it. I love that.
So I started really because I want to create a healthier, better for you coffee options because it's not there. It really started 6 years ago. I had cancer in my 30s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So coffee is one thing I can kick off. So it can go without. I like some flavor with the coffee, but I really hate adding all the milk and sugar into it, and it just defeats the purpose. I'm also a coffee purist. So I had started doing my own thing, and then I turned to a bigger thing, and turned out everybody loves it. So that became the business idea.
And you love it, so it's a match made.
Yeah, and then after we selling it, we figure, will people really like it? Is this concept a thing? People, because people like sweet coffee, right? Would they actually accept what I'm making? But yeah, it turned out people like it. A lot of people don't like very sweet stuff. They actually really appreciate it. Most people drink just as is. They don't really add anything to our coffee. So that's great. I feel like, okay, we got a product down, right?
Yeah.
And then after a whole year last summer, improving the recipes and really changing a lot of things, and also upgrading a lot of ingredients to commercial level ingredients, so we can make this a really consistent thing.
Consistency. I like that word. I like that word.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cold brew you make?
Ooh, I think nobody have tasted yet.
Oh.
Maybe except my husband. That's his favorite, but I don't really make very often because it's labor intensive.
Now you got my curiosity. What is it?
It's a toasted coconut chocolate.
Oh, man. You definitely used to drink craft beers all the time.
It tastes like a stout without the alcohol. Really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But you roast coconut yourself and you make coconut water yourself. The process is a lot.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot. Yeah.
So it will never be on the menu, guys, but that's her favorite.
It will be on the menu when we open. I haven't started brewing that one, but we'll have some small quantity of it.
Limited edition.
Yeah. And Nader actually ordered a keg. He has it there in his cooler right now. Hopefully we can put on tap this weekend. We're just waiting to get all the gears changed out.
Of what flavor?
It's gonna be a coconut salted caramel chocolate. So there's coconut, there's a caramel, there's a we use cacao nibs to brew it. So it's very chocolatey and a little bit sweetened. I like it not sweet, unsweet, but most people probably like sweet, so there's a little bit sugar in there.
Sugar in there.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys. By the time you're listening to this, it's probably all gone.
It's probably gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But we're teasing you because by this time then, now you really want some really good cold brew coffee. And we're hoping. So today is May 29th. Yeah. Recording. Do we have an expected date yet that we think we're going to be open?
It's still TBD. So
Okay.
we're waiting on landlord to get the sprinkler system fixed. And that's on them. We've passed health inspection, we passed building, everything else except that one. So we're kind of waiting, holding pattern. That's another struggle of being a small business owner.
Hurry up and wait, you know?
Exactly.
Well, hopefully by the time you guys are hearing this, either will be just after they grand open the new brick and mortar store or really, really close. That's our game plan. So sorry you missed out on the Beer Bazaar tab, but there'll be 8.
We'll have it here, and we'll
12
have
of them,
growlers.
So
like,
you'll be able to get it.
If you
It's
really
okay.
like it, take some growler home.
But you'll have 12 other flavors to try. Oh, that's what I want to ask. Are you gonna do come in and like? Can I do like a flight? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't show you. We have some flat boards here, so it comes with 4 options.
Okay.
So you can pick anything on tap, like 20 options are there, coffee and tea included. Yeah.
Oh, God. I can't believe I didn't ask that earlier because I'm all about the flights. I love going to a new place and I'm like,
Same.
I don't want to pick one. I want to try them all. Like,
Yeah.
well, you can't do that. I'm like, well, then what the heck? So I'm really excited. So we're going to have some flight options. I love that.
Yeah, the goal for this place is we're a coffee shop with brewery vibe. That's the whole goal. So I'm a very laid back person, and we love having very friendly, just show our hospitality. We want people to stay. We don't want to turn to the table, keep people out. We want people to stay. That's why we have like power access.
Free Wi-Fi?
Free Wi-Fi, and you can get them actually out of the street, really strong.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well,
so
I've been looking for a new coffee shop to hang out at because my previous one closed. So I might have a new place.
Yes.
So, what else I was going to ask? We talked about. Oh, I know what I want. So we have listeners that aren't super close to Lindenhurst, and it just doesn't make sense for them. And it's nice to hear too that you're kind of spreading out, around Lake County.
Yeah.
But I think we briefly talked about you have an e-commerce option, right?
Correct.
So, like for my non-local listeners, what's available on the website, and will that stay that way?
Yeah, so go to www.threelegged.com. Just threelegged.com.
Okay.
Yeah, we ship nationwide.
The cold brew
Nitro cold brew cans. That's a whole 4 flavors. So we have a black, we have French vanilla, caramel, and Irish cream. That's our 4 staple flavors in cans. And we also have a line of coffee bags, as you can see on the retail shop there.
I love the art on it.
We have ranging from decaf to very caffeinated.
Very caffeinated. Now you're talking my language.
We have cold brew blends. We have cold brew packs that in the little pouches for you're easier to brew at home.
Dude, you guys are going to have everything here to make your own coffee, so you can buy some coffee and take it home too. Is that like a French press? We've got, is that a pour over?
That's a pour machine.
Is that a cold brew?
On the bottom shelf, there are a bunch of cold brew maker. You can make a home. Yeah.
So we should do like, no, I'm not even bringing it up. That's just more work. People are always curious about like they want more knowledge around coffee. Like almost like I don't want to call it a class because there's not really like kind of a class because they're not making anything or doing but like more of like the
education,
like the education piece.
Coffee.
Like come in, drink a cold brew and learn about
We've done that actually last year with the Grace Lake Library.
Oh, very cool.
And it was like packed, actually sold out for that event. So we did a one-on-one. So they start with where coffee come from, how this coffee harvested and the processing and how do we brew. So different brewing methods. And then I went into in-depth of talking about cold brew. How you make at home, what kind of beans, all the temperature, different factors to think about. So you can get really nitty-gritty with cold brew. At the end, I also brought like a few different samples. People kind of pour themselves samples at the end. So that was,
of course, everyone loves a good sample.
That was a good one. We're gonna do another one with Round Lake Library this fall. So it's coming up.
Oh well, stay posted for that because I will probably find myself there just curiosity killed the cat sort of thing.
But if like there's a lot of demand, we love sharing the knowledge of cold brew because it's still not very well understood.
Exactly.
And there's so many factors. People think, oh, just put
iced coffee,
iced coffee, or put coffee in the water, and that's it. No. Yeah, that's why your cold brew is not as good.
Oh my God, people that think they just brew coffee and then put it in the refrigerator. I'm like, I just want to like V8 them right in the forehead. You know, it's like, no, like a simple Google will tell you that is so wrong. But
I mean, it's not a rocket science, but there's a lot of factors like what kind of water, temperature, the ratios, the time, and all the things.
The bean,
right?
I mean, everything.
Beans.
And it's just like cooking, right? Like every little thing can affect how it tastes, and and then it comes down to a little bit of personal preference and then all that. But and then there's some who just butcher it completely, and I don't want to drink their coffee. So well, very cool. So we are well over our hour, which I told you was going to fly by.
I did feel like it.
Yeah. Was there anything you were hoping to talk about or cover that we did not?
I think we talk about pretty much everything. I'm just excited that you're here and we're sharing the story and really our ambition about building the three-legged brand.
Yeah.
And I have so much hope for this retail location because that's not only, community aspirate. We want to build a community-centric place so people can hang out, they relax. It's really mentally, it's a, ideal place for people to hang out. That's where we want to be. And I always love in the hospitality industry. And this is kind of building a nurturing environment to share the love for coffee.
Well, I have plenty of listeners that have a love for coffee, and I hope all of you join me in the love of cold brew as much as I do. Yami, thank you so much for your time today. It was so much fun sharing coffee together.
Oh, yes.
I love the community of coffee. But just your story, I think it's so cool, and I think the way you're going about it is so unique. But thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much, Eric. It was a blast.
Thank you. And thank you to our listeners. As always, please like, comment, share. I will put all the Three-Legged Brewing information in the post, as always. But check them out, threelegged.com. Or, hopefully by the time you're hearing this, location at, what's the address here?
It's 2120 East Grand Avenue, Lindenhurst.
In Lindenhurst. Hopefully they're open by the time. I'll have that all in the post as well. But until then. And that wraps up another episode of Small Business, Big Dreams. Thank you for joining us. Please support us and these incredible small businesses by sharing this podcast with friends, family, and on your social networks. Spreading the word not just helps us grow, but more importantly supports the dreams of our local entrepreneurs. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. But if you have a small business we should hear about, reach out to us on social media or our website. We would love to hear from you. Until next week, I'm your host, Eric Bull. Keep supporting small businesses, and goodbye for now.